Hi, welcome to VYAPT Growth Series, Season 3, Episode 12. Today, our guest is Mr. Chandru Kalro, MD of TTK Prestige Limited, who has played an instrumental role in moving the company from a south-focused company selling pressure cookers to becoming India's largest and most profitable kitchen appliance company. From a turnover of around 113 crores in 2003 to 2,800 crores today. We'll get to know more around this journey and the growth ahead. Join me to welcome Mr. Chandru in VYAPT Growth Series. Namaskar, Chandru. Welcome to VYAPT Growth Series.
Namaskar, Pankaj. Namaskar.
It's such a pleasure to have you on our platform. We have always heard about you, and we have always, been with TTK Prestige since our, childhood, and we have seen everybody. But it's really an honor to host you because you have been doing some significant work for the society since decades now. So it's a pleasure to have you on our platform.
Thank you for having me, Pankaj. It's a pleasure to be here as well. And you're doing some wonderful job as well, telling people various things. So it's great to be here.
So we have our curiosities today, and we'll move on with our first curiosity, which in fact is around growth. And so my first curiosity is, how do you see the growth of the kitchen appliances and cookware industry? And has there been some specific strategies which has led to the growth of this particular industry so far?
It's a very good question because, India traditionally has been an under-penetrated market. So if you see, we have started our life post-independence in a shortage era. We have started in the license Raj, where, product producing more was a crime. Now we have gone into a very different scenario where it is not about, how less we have, but how much more can we consume. We are living in that society today. And the kitchen appliance industry is actually benefiting from this, like every other industry in this country. Now, the other thing is that customers today are far more exposed because of media, both social media as well as, traditional media, and their exposure because of their international travel, which is happening more and more. People are quite exposed, and therefore cuisines and culinary trends are part of daily lexicon today among the Indian customers that are there. And when you look at all this, I think the strategy that can help you grow, and growth is not an option, growth is a necessity, as you know. If you want to really grow, the way I see it and the way we've done it is actually start with the customer, be with the customer, and end with the customer. There is no other way to do this. And the way we do it is we regularly meet customers on in-depth interviews. This is a strategy that we have followed, wherein, like you and I are discussing today, we will sit with the customer and ask the customer not about the kitchen. That is not what we are asking. We are asking the customer about the customer and her life or his life, as the case may be, and what is making them happy, what is making them concerned, what are they looking at themselves as tomorrow. These are the kind of open-ended questions in which we actually engage with customers of various cohorts. And then this leads to a serious lifestyle connect with the customer. I think that is where we, distill the customer and her or his life today, in which there is, of course, cooking, there is, of course, kitchen, there is, of course, family, what are their aspirations, all of that will happen. So then we say, okay, these are the pain points that we are seeing. These are the things that we must lead to and give them solutions to make these pain points go away. No customer actually tells you that I want this product. I mean, no one told Steve Jobs that they want an iPhone. It never happened. It was Steve Jobs who distilled the customer's possible aspiration and connected the dots and brought whatever he did. And I think the same kind of approach is what we have been following. And it is a long-term approach. It is not that, it is an end by itself. You continuously do these things. Don't think incremental. See how we can disrupt something and actually come across as somebody who is empathetic to the customer needs, and then launch products. See, India today is outperforming all large economies. We are aware of that, and it is going to continue to do that. There are a lot of people who have said this, so I won't get into that. In this case, therefore, we should not be afraid of disrupting, as long as we are doing it in the interest of the customer and not in our self interest. I think the purpose should be clearly defined as customer, and that customer centricity is your best growth strategy for us. The other major thing is, today cooking is no longer just a chore. You know, for me, for example, cooking is a hobby, right? It is a great stress reliever for me. Now, how do I then enjoy myself even better? Can I make someone like me enjoy myself even more? That's the thing. What is my purpose? To make people enjoy their time in the kitchen. That's where I think the best growth strategy. The last thing I think we are seeing is, we should not anymore stereotype the customer. The kitchen is for ladies only. It's a stereotype. In fact, one of the things we did was, we said cooking has no gender. You
Yeah,
know,
true. Yeah,
because everyone eats. Yeah, if the wife has to go out and get money home by working, we can also help out in the kitchen. These
true.
are certain thoughts that we want to amplify, to making the society also a better place, because it helps the brand.
So it is not just a product, but you're talking about a narrative which can help the
Yes,
society to grow further from the
correct,
mindset as well. I think I have, that's a really good narrative which you've started from TTK Prestige, because kitchen is a common gender, not relating to male or a female. Uh,
correct,
my second curiosity is further to my first curiosity. You talked around the growth, and you talked around why we are looking at growth, what kind of growth going to happen. But how can we drive sustainable business growth? We are talking around not just business, but sustenance of business. And are there any emerging trends or areas of focus you foresee driving growth in the future?
First thing about sustaining business growth the answer is in that line itself. And that answer is consistency of approach. See, I think we must be consistent in the way we approach the customer. And I always say, as long as you are in a position to ensure that every stakeholder in the chain is winning, then you have a sustainable ecosystem. And this is something I very strongly believe. My channel partner, my supplier, my employee, my apart from my customer, of course, it all starts and ends with the customer. Everyone should win in this game. Everyone should see that they are playing a positive role in this victory march that we are doing. And that is how we have actually built a sustainable ecosystem where, for example, I'll give you an example. Many of my channel partners are third generation in the business with us.
Oh, wonderful.
Many of our vendor partners are second and third generation in the business with us. So it is these relationships which I think has also helped being making a brand, and a brand consistently, being in the with a positive vibe around it. That is also very important. When you think of Prestige, you don't think of a very glamorous brand, but you think of a brand you can trust. You think of a brand I can see it innovating for my sake, not because it wants to, give me a product which it wants to sell to me. And I think that has to come across if you want to sustainably engage with the customer. Because today's customer can find out anything very, very quickly. Everything is available. In terms of the large themes that are emerging consistently, and those trends are in the customer's mind with relation to our industry, are four large themes. Four large themes. First is health. After COVID, the focus on health and health related topics, you would have seen floods your WhatsApp, floods your social media, floods everything else. How can I how can I help the customer feel better with my kitchen appliance or any kitchen appliance, that I am helping him achieve what he wants or she wants in that health theme? The second theme is convenience. Customers increasingly are demanding convenience because I think over a period of time, domestic help is going to get very difficult to get. We are today very lucky in this world where we have domestic help to do things for us in the home. But I think over a period of time, it is going to disappear. People are going to help themselves. People are double income, no kids, double income, one dog. That is the kind of household we are seeing today. And in that case, convenience in the kitchen is something that the customer is looking at as a theme. The third theme is time saving. How can I save time? Because we are living increasingly fast paced lives. Increasingly, people don't have time. How can I help them save time in the kitchen so that sometimes we think about, can I help the customer spend 15 minutes less in the kitchen in the morning? Just 15 minutes. And you can imagine the value of that 15 minutes in the morning when everybody is stressed for everything. If I can get that done, I am actually helping the customer to
True.
lead a better life and reach office on time, send their child to school on the bus correctly, etc. The last thing is, as kitchens have become open, and it is visible from the living room and the dining room today, increasingly most of the apartments that you see and the houses you see with open kitchens, aesthetic has become critical. So people want good looking products, not just functional products. And I think that is something we have to be very sensitive to, which means that earlier what we were not sensitive to in terms of aesthetic, color themes, color palettes, form factor, all of those things have become very critical in terms of sustaining your brand leadership, sustaining your engagement with the customer.
That's true, and it's really nice to see how the products are evolving with the evolving mindset of the customers. I think which you rightly said, that you have to understand your customer, you have to serve your customer better, and you give a narrative around Steve Jobs, that it's not that the customer which came to Steve Jobs to talk around that. To come up with a product like that. So a wonderful hearing from you around the sustainability of this particular product. Um, while we are talking around this business, Mr. Chandru, we were talking around a book, a self-help book, which happened to release yesterday. In
Oh,
fact, and I have gone through that book by the name of Decode Life: Insights into the Deepest Secrets of Life by Manoj Dwivedi. And just to tell you, it's a wonderful book, and I have gone through it yesterday itself, just to show our viewers. This is the book, Decode Life. Can we zoom in, please? Here. Uh, so, Decode Life: Insights into the Deepest Secrets of Life by Manoj Dwivedi. Uh, so, a wonderful book. As I was talking with you, Chandru, that it is available on Flipkart, Amazon. I'm sure many of us will order our copy and understand the deepest secrets.
you have
Chandru, have you
aroused
ever?
my curiosity. It's a subject that I definitely want to know more about, because if I can, it's a journey that we are all going through, and if I can live my life better through somebody else's experience, I think it's a great thing. I think I would like to order that book myself.
That's great to hear from you, Chandru, and I'm sure this would help us to understand our lives more better and live it more meaningful. So as we move forward to our curiosity three around business, so looking at the diverse market you cater to from the TTK prestige point of view, how crucial do you consider the adaptation of localization of products to actually enhance greater employment? And do you see that there are some specific technological advancements that has significantly contributed to the success of this industry?
No, definitely. I mean, this is a subject very close to my heart. I don't know whether you know, We were the first company in the industry to actually move our entire supply chain, which was there in China for whatever products we used to import in fully finished condition, to India. I mean, it was a decision we took, and we took it during COVID or just before COVID. It was the most difficult time to get that done. And we even said it that this is because the Make in India theme was not just a war cry by the Prime Minister. I think it is something that we as a nation must believe in. And trading is one thing. I'm not saying there is anything wrong to bring products from outside to the Indian diaspora, but I think we must not be easy lazy. We must see how we can localize, because then it generates employment, it generates capital expenditure, it generates permanent income and a larger share of the pie for us, and eventually helps us actually feed the export market. So these were some of the reasons why we actually went into that localization spree. And the sustenance of this is if you can build scale very fast, because otherwise your investments in tools, molds, etc., become little bit commercially unviable if you can't do it. So these are some of the challenges that we faced, but otherwise I think it's something that every company in this industry should do. In fact, the government is doing several other things also to hasten this. What the government is now saying is, listen, I want to sell products that only a BIS is certifying or a BEE is certifying. Why should I look at a non-certified product being given to my customer? And I think it's a very good thing that the government is doing at this point in time. And we have to work with this in the right spirit, I feel. In terms of technology, unless we bring the supply chain here, we will never invest in the technology. And there are several themes here again, which are actually going to make the kitchen appliance industry explode. For example, the IoT led theme in the kitchen appliance. I mean, when I spoke about the convenience and time saving, I think the time has come for us to now control our kitchen appliance from our mobile phone, like we control so many things. So we have launched a range of IoT products which are on an app, which you can control from your phone. For example, can I also, use the safety theme and put it on the app saying if there is anything wrong happening at home, it gives me a warning signal. So there are things like this that can actually make the market explode, because then what happens is everybody wants to upgrade. Everybody wants to now say, okay, I want that because it's different. The other theme that is happening is kitchen automation. Increasingly, what is happening is the new generation, which is the millennials, if you might say,
Mm-hmm.
are taking time to come to the kitchen. They want us to make it easy, and their mom may not be the first port of call to understand a new recipe. YouTube might be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is the kind of life that we are in today. In that scenario, kitchen automation with a machine that can actually help you go through the cooking process to eat great food at home, even if you don't know to cook, and it takes you through a step by step, I think it's a great theme. It is going to catch up. Currently the pricing is higher, but I think once it becomes affordable and the value equation sounds right, I think that will also help in growing the industry, help in growing to adaptation, and help in making more people enjoy the kitchen. And only when you enjoy the kitchen you will invest in the kitchen. So that is the theory that we are talking about. And digital and digitization as a theme, I think, is another theme. I mean, today, if you are looking at the way we engage with our customer, and I'm using the word engagement and not talk, because talk was earlier. When we were talking by advertising, that was a one-way street. We were not hearing back what the customer was saying. Today, I think the customer is saying, you engage with me. And you engage with me at a time I want, in a way I want, and
True.
when I want. So these things today are making digitization, omni-channel, these themes all will mean that consumption will increase. And also, the traditional barriers are going away because of technology. So today I can sell a product sitting here in some village remotely in the country. And that some village remotely in the country is using a smartphone to order a product, which is so fantastic today. Think about it. 10 years back, was that possible?
No.
It's not possible. And these things today, I think, will contribute to the growth of the industry. It will contribute to enhancing lifestyles. And I say it with all responsibility because, I have seen rural homes and actually studied rural homes when they move up from a chulha to, say, a gas stove. And
Mhm.
that is for them a great promotion. When I asked a lady, for example, in a village, saying, what did you like about this? She said, sir, mera promotion ho gaya. I said, what do you mean aapka promotion ho gaya? She said, now I can cook standing instead of sitting on the floor. For her, that was a promotion. She
Mhm.
said, mera promotion ho gaya because now I can put a cup of tea for a guest who has visited me in 5 minutes instead of 30 minutes.
Mhm.
You look at the vibe that you get from a lady like that, and the kind
True.
of joy that you can spread by
True.
simply giving her something that she wants. And these are things that are going to happen very fast as the customer and the access to products and technology improves, and it is doing that every day.
That's so wonderful to hear from you, Chandru, and obviously uh, the kind of statements the people are making after using the products. That's really heartwarming. Uh, we move on to our next round, which we call it as flip round, especially curated for leaders like you, wherein a guest becomes host and the host becomes guest. A question coming from you has to be answered in 30 seconds time.
Wow. So, Pankaj, how has your consulting landscape changed in the recent years? And how are you anticipating it to evolve in the future? I'm very curious about this.
Uh, that's a wonderful question, Chandru. Over the years, what has happened with consulting was that the uh, companies, irrespective of industries as a segment they cater to, uh, needed consultants only when they required. So it was a set of outside thing, okay, that could be needed only when I require. So if I want to grow, or if I have some specific concerns which has to be addressed by an outside consultant, let me go around it. But Chandru, as you rightly talked about in earlier question, that the world is changing today. The demands of the consumers are changing today. You have to anticipate. Okay, so today the need of consultant is not whenever I want, but is always. Okay, so if I'm doing today better, how can I do today tomorrow even more better? Okay, so
Mhm.
what are the changing landscapes which the customer or consumer may look at? So I think there are two different ways how the consulting is going to change. One is it's not just being only an idea to be given to a client, but it's also about helping them implement to become a win-win partner in whatever the things we are doing. That's one. The second important part, consulting is, it will nowhere be uh, you know a one time activity. It would be a daily activity. It would be a daily activity. How can I help ourselves innovate, sustain more better, make our products and services better? Can I be more closer to my customer? Can I engage better with my customer and know better about my products? What is that
Right.
they are anticipating in the future? I think these are the two different things which consulting we will see as we move ahead.
So, from being reactive to proactive, having a another asset within the office.
Yeah, in fact, consulting would be an arm. Okay, so it would nowhere be an external help, but an arm which is helping you always. So
Right.
that's where the world is moving ahead to. Thank you so much for this particular question coming in, Chandru. And now we have something called learning on the go, a question which is more to do with you as a person and less to do with the segment or the industry you are from. Can you share some learnings from your colleagues, mentors, family, or otherwise, which has been of great help in shaping your leadership style?
You know, one of the biggest and the most memorable incident that I have in my life is one incident when my father came to my office and sat in front of me, very proud to see what I was doing. And this was a long time ago. I was the general manager here.
Mhm.
And he told me, first you sit down. And then, as from that generation, we said, first you see your father sit down. But he said, no, first you sit down today. And I sat down, and then he sat down. He said, "Do you know why I told you this?" He said, "No. I wanted you to sit on that chair and respect the chair on which you are sitting, and be very clear that the respect that you are getting right now is more for that chair and the organization which you are sitting rather than for you as an individual. As long as you can detach yourself from that respect which you are getting, you will always be happy. After you get out of this office, if people still like you and want to see you, that is yours." And that gave me a very profound learning on that day, saying, don't get attached to what you have. And it has helped me even today, when I have seen through a great transition within this company, which I have put in place. And I've almost put in the next round of leaders in the game, and a very air of freshness in the management, and a new energy in the management, which can actually take this company further. There's a great sense of satisfaction that one feels, saying that he did his best, that one did his best to make sure that this company continues to grow, prosper, and continues to serve the customer as we always used to be, and protect the culture of the company. I think this fact that life is a journey where you have to get off at some stage, and you have to get off at some stage knowing that the rest of the people who you traveled with and whatever you traveled with last are also happy, is a great feeling. That, I think, has been a source of great peace. It has been a source of great satisfaction, aside of the professional accomplishments, which I think many will accomplish. There is nothing that I have done that is so unique. There is nothing that I have done that could not have been done by somebody else. But still, I am proud of it because I could do it sustainably for that long. And I'm hoping that I'm leaving something which will continue in that way. That, I think, was my biggest learning.
I think these statements would be inspirational for various leaders, because there are so many people who actually sit on what they have, and they generally do not pass on to the next generation or next leadership to take on. But that's a wonderful thing coming from you, Chandru, and I'm sure this is going to help a lot of us who are listening to your views in terms of taking decisions as we transition to the next phase of our life. Thank you so much for being a part of VYAPT Growth Series, Chandru. It was really a pleasure to have you on our platform. And as always, you have been fantastic in sharing your views, upfront, talking about your journey and also about your industry. Sometimes I really feel, not able to distinguish between you and TTK Prestige, because having worked for so many years with the organization, a person becomes the brand himself or herself. So thank you so much for being a part.
Thank you, Pankaj, for having me. It was a pleasure having this discussion, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Chandru. Thank you.
Thank you.